Moving overseas, boy, you watch your mom. But look, 5 years later, man, the city's mine. I swear to God, the city's mine. Yeah.
How you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. So you just had a class?
Yeah, I got a little high school class I teach like once a week. I haven't had it since December. So we restarted today.
Oh wow, since December. That's crazy.
Yeah, because we had a little COVID scare, and it's a public high school, so like they weren't letting anybody that wasn't official staff come in for like last couple months. So they finally let me come back.
I got you. That's crucial.
My
kids, you got that started.
Yeah. All those kids are going to they're planning to go to school, like college, universities overseas. So I got a couple going to the States. Yeah, some going to Canada, some going to Australia. So it's high school number 1 in Kunming, but it's the international wing.
Okay.
So Chinese kids all speak obviously perfect English, but also speak Chinese, and most of their classes are taught in English.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's a public high school, so
okay.
Dope.
That's very dope. I met one guy actually because he came back to the city during Chinese New Year. He stayed for like 2 months. And so I trained him. He's maybe about 24, 25. But he was actually living in Canada since he was in high school. And I was like, so bro, you were in Canada your whole high school term? He goes, yeah. I was like, oh, that's tough, bro. I was like, I don't know if I could, like, I wanted to go to college overseas, but I don't know if I could just leave and go to high school overseas and then not see my family at all for 4 years. Like he said, he never came home.
Our the manager of our company, the founder or whatever, he's from here, but he went to school, like elementary school, middle school, and high school in Canada and college.
Okay.
Yeah, and then came back to start his business.
Okay.
So perfect English, perfect Chinese, obviously, but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. How's your situation over there? Y'all still like severely masked up, or just the mandatory indoors like stores and government buildings and taxi cabs?
You know, mandatory what they ask. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't ask, then most people don't even really worry about it. But like, you know, when I get a DD or government building, banks, even going to work, when I'm at the gate, I have my mask on. But then once I get in the gym, I'm off.
Yeah. I laugh because do your DDs or taxis have the big old plastic sheet? A couple of my taxis had the big old plastic sheet. Like they put it in between the driver and the back seat. They just put like only a couple of them though. Not most, but taxis do, but not the
only taxis I know they got the barrier, like the driver's isolated from the rest of the car. They have the little joint, but like there's no sheet though. Like some of them.
Yeah, it's like I want to say maybe about like 2 weeks ago, like I was pulling into work, like riding my bike, and all the taxis, they were all getting ready, and all of them were putting up the little plastic sheets. I just started laughing. I was like, I hope y'all don't have this during the summer because that's gonna be a hot ride. I was like, ain't no air circulation. It's gonna be hot in that car.
It's not that extreme down here yet. Knock on wood. I hope it don't get to that level.
Right, but as we talk, my city is much smaller, so which is crazy. When we say smaller, it's like by 100 million.
Like crazy.
Okay, bet. Well, I'm doing this like little podcast, you know what I'm saying, once again to reach out to each other, but also just to see some of the, I guess you would say, the negativities that we went through, because you've been out here much longer than me. You're going on what, 10 years almost?
No.
7?
I'm going on 5.
5?
Yeah, I got here 2017.
Oh, I thought you were out here before me.
I got here in May 2017.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're ahead of me. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, not that much, not a crazy amount, because TT got here, I want to say 3 months after I did.
Okay.
And Sam got here after, so it wasn't too crazy of a time lapse, I don't think. But you came out here like a couple years ago, though, right? Like to hoop.
Yeah.
You had been in China before you came to live.
Yeah, I had been in China back in 2015. Me and one of my boys, we put on like a little all-star game. We had Booby Gibson, White Chocolate, and then Brian Russell was one of the coaches. It was in Xi'an, Shanghai, and there was another small little city, but it was pretty dope. It was like called the Golden Sheep Cup or something like that.
Golden Sheep Cup.
Yeah, Golden Sheep Cup. And I mean, it was live. That was like my first experience in China and everything. Like,
yeah, that's what made you want to come back, like full time, or
nah, man. That gave me inspiration to, I guess you would say, not lose the dream of doing what I love, and basketball is what I love, whether it was playing or teaching it. I knew I wanted to be around the game in that aspect. So it's like I found myself working literally 3 jobs, and I was still getting up at 3 a.m., going to the gym, lifting weights, playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Putting in my craft because I just wanted to make sure I was ready for something. And then like 2015 came around, boom, I did like the little all-star camp. Like I wasn't even supposed to play. But then some guys couldn't get their passports in because I was trying to do like bodybuilding fitness at the time. So I was doing a little bit of basketball, but I couldn't do too much because of all the calculations with the body and the body mass and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I coached and played a little bit when I came out there, but it wasn't my show to, you know what I'm saying, take over. I did a little bit, enough to say, hey, yeah, I belong. And so then when I came back, I was still working 3 jobs. And then I want to say in 2018, I just hit a wall because on one of my jobs, I realized this is not it. I was waking up at 5 a.m. or I was going to work at 5 a.m. to get cussed out at 5:30. And then to have my managers complain that I was out of dress code at 5:15. Now, mind you, work starts at 5:30. I'm there at 5. My managers call me into the office to complain at 5:15. And at one point, I just hit the wall. I said, you know what? This ain't it. I was like, I could do this type of work when I'm 60, 70 years old, and I could be happy with it. I said, how do I know? There was a guy next to me, 60 years old, just chilling. He's like, yeah, I've been working here 10 years. He goes, I don't care about anything else. He goes, it's a steady paycheck. And I was like, nah, this guy, I was like, there has to be more to life than this. And so then I put into a call to one of my homeboys who still had the connections over here overseas. And he said, yeah, man, TT's still out there and Phil out there. I was like, all right, man, bet. Put me in to connect with him. I was like, let's make it happen. A week later, dude said, hey, can you be out here tomorrow? And I thought it was a joke. He's like, nah, I'm serious. Can you be out here tomorrow? I was like, hold on. Let me collect my last checks. And I'm out here at the end of the month. And I was like, say less. So boom, came out here, and then like, you know what I'm saying? I was out here, then down in Shenzhen, kind of didn't have the right people around me. So then I came back, and then the USBA at the time, they were like, well, we got one more city. Let's send you up there. All right, boom. They said, do you want to run the show, or do you want to have somebody with you? I said, man, let me just run the show. It's cool. So I came up here, and then it's just been ever since, you know what I'm saying? Then once COVID hit, all that stuff shut down. And so then, you know, we had to make our own way. And so that's why I just went into my bag and just got my own thing going slowly but surely, you know.
No, for sure. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, the mind is definitely obviously the most powerful tool. So if you got the willpower to do it, you know, you're going to overcome any type of situation. You feel me? So when I came out here, kind of similar. Like I played an all-star game in Jersey with Boobie Gibson, Mo Ager. Ooh. And I stayed in contact with Mo because, you know, like me and Mo linked because I didn't know he made music. Yeah. And, you know, I'm rap or whatever. So we were always like chopping it up, talking to each other throughout the year. This is like back in like 2016. So talking throughout the year. I'll never forget the day, 4/20, 2017. He called me just to chop it up, see how I was doing. I was actually on my way to an album release party. My right hand was putting out the album or whatever. So I was on my way up to North Jersey for that. Okay. So on the phone with like Mo, like 10 minutes, chopping it up, catching up. And then I remember like 20 minutes go by. He calls me back. So I'm thinking like, call me back on accident, but I just answer it anyway. He said, yo, fam, like, what you doing? I was like, you know, I'm doing my thing, whatever. Like I was coaching in back at the crib. I had my own thing. It's called Basketball Society with me and one of my homies. We started that. I was working a couple jobs here and there, just trying to figure it out, like you said. Yeah. And then Mo was like, yo, like, how would you feel about going to China? I'm like, Chinatown? Like, you mean go to China? Like, what you talking about? Right? He's like, nah, for real. He's like, yo, like, I'm in touch with this program. Like, they need some coaches to go to China. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe like go out there for a couple months, maybe a month. He's like, I'm like, how long? He's like, a year. I was like, oh. So that caught me off guard a little bit, right? Yeah. Go upstairs, Talked to my brother about it, right? My brother's like, man, like, you know what I'm saying, go for it. So I remember getting the contract back. They asked me if I could be there in like a couple of weeks. They wanted me end of April to be there, but I had to get my passport, you know, my visa and all that stuff.
Right.
So I asked them if I could have like an extra month just to be with the fam, kick it with the fam, and you know, get myself together. And then, sure enough, you know, my tickets came in, my visa came back, and came out here, landed in Beijing. I think May 24th, if I'm not mistaken, and then moved down to Kunming May 26th, and I've been rocking over here ever since.
That's love.
So
That's love.
I didn't know. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna do a year tops, gain the experience, figure it out, and then halfway through, I'm like, man, like there's actually better opportunities out here for me for what I'm doing. I love the, you know what I mean, I love the hoop, obviously. My path didn't go the way that I felt it would have. Some of it my fault. Some of it, you know, it's in the hands of, you know, a higher being than myself. But like we both know, teaching is something that you could do forever, and it never leaves you. You know what I'm saying? So you're imparting that wisdom on the next generation. If they want to take it or not, it's up to them. But
at
least you're giving it. You know, and it kind of reinvigorated my passion for basketball as well. Because, like, you know, some of the kids that we have here are not as skilled as kids that we worked with in the past. So you kind of have to really dig deep in your bag to be able to explain, break down the basics, because everything got to be detailed, right? Like we both know. Like you could demonstrate something at the crib, 30 seconds, all the kids got it.
Yeah.
Out here, it might take the whole class just to get one drill down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's frustrating because obviously, you know, like a lot of things get lost in translation, but you know, the love is there, the passion is there, especially for those that want it. And I think they appreciate, you know, yourself, they appreciate me for the simple fact is that, you know, we've stayed here the long haul and have shown the compassion and the gratitude towards the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, of course, there's some things I would love to have a little different or a little easier on the mind and the body, of course. But in terms of the experience and the opportunity, I'm super thankful. Always.
Absolutely. All blessings. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell anybody that asks me, they say, well, the number one question is like, well, when you coming back? I said, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Like, you don't have to play. Like, you really want to stay out there? You really like it out there? Like, yeah.
I was like, it's different from. I was like this. On a positive side, I never have to worry about the police messing with me unless I really go out there and like I'm looking for trouble.
Facts.
Like I literally have myself personally, I have to go look for trouble for their police or someone to just come up to me and just start messing with me. And that's driving and all that stuff. You know, I don't have to worry about that. 2, I don't have to worry about no stick-up kids or accidentally getting shot by some randomness. And you know what I'm saying? They said, well, Marcus, you know, say you lived in Arizona and Oregon. I said, I understand, but you don't understand people. In Arizona, there are some crazy people. In Oregon, there are some crazy people on drugs. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I've dealt with all of it. And you know what I'm saying? It's by God's graces that, you know what I'm saying, I'm still here just because of the type of situations. It's like, okay, so at 3:00 in the morning at Jack and the Crack, I wanted 2 tacos, and now all of a sudden a gunfight broke out. Like, hey guys, I just want some tacos. I didn't think a gunfight was
mind your business.
Right.
Mind your business. Yeah. You can't even escape it, for sure. Now, people ask me all the time, like, yo, like, aren't you know, isn't it racist out there? I'm like, bro, there's racism everywhere.
Right.
You feel me? And for me, more so, I wouldn't even call it racism in terms of what I experienced, because I feel more so it's a lot of ignorance and lack of exposure. We might be the first person of color that any of these people can even touch or even talk to. So with that being said, if you don't have the experience on how to deal with that type of person, you don't know what to do. But my experiences, I've been in villages out here. I've been in big cities out here. I've been in smaller cities. They show me extreme amount of love. I've been in homes for Chinese New Year where they're like, yo, you know, you have to eat more. Like, they really treat you like family if you allow yourself to embrace the culture and be open with them and transparent. Of course, there's some things that, you know, we miss. Of course, I miss being home. I miss the block. I miss certain things. But out here, man, like you said, I say it all the time. This is the first time in my life that I see police and my skin doesn't like start to like, you know what I mean? I don't get tense. Like, I see them, they wave, hello, hey, Neil, whatever. You keep it pushing. Mind your business and go about your day.
Yeah. You know,
if you want trouble, you can find it. But if you stay out the way, you out the way. Super out the way.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. And that's totally it. And so it's like that's one of the things that like you touched on is that it's the same thing for us in America. Like I didn't know about the Chinese culture. Only thing I knew about it was what I saw on TV. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what and that's how they feel and portray the black community by what they see on TV. They think every black person could dunk. Hey, Marcus, can you dunk it? Nah, the weather has to be right. I got to warm up for at least an hour. You know what I'm saying? I got to stretch for another 30 minutes. Then I got to see, you know what I'm saying? Is the gym warm?
I'm in the mood.
You know?
I'm in the mood too. I'm not getting paid for this. I can't pay to entertain you like that.
Right.
I can't pay to coach.
And so, hey, Marcus, can you, do you rap? Well, I mean, I rap in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I rap in the shower. I rap for fun. You know what I'm saying? I like doing fun stuff, but am I a rapper? You know, like, because the rapper, because they know all the new ones, like Lil Baby. They know him. Yeah. They know Drake. Yeah. They say, hey, do you know Drake? I was like, I don't know Drake. I was like, I don't know. We all don't know each other. I was like, that's another stereotype. We all don't know each other. But
if it's that bad for you, you can imagine how it is for me who actually raps.
Yeah, bro.
Project stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, take me to a KTV, just hand me a microphone, put on some Eminem. Oh, it's rap. Like, bro, I never listened to this in my life. Like, no disrespect to M. I know he's a legend. He's one of the best, but like, that wasn't my, you know what I mean? That wasn't my twist.
Right.
You put on some Hove or some Nas, I might be able to help you. But
right.
M, I got to read the lyrics like, yo. You know what I mean?
They said I went to KTV, they put on 50 Cent, hand me the mic. Go, Marcus. I was like, go, shorty. All right, let 50 do his part.
Yep.
Let 50 rap.
Yep.
I'm the chorus guy. I got you on the chorus.
Straight up. I don't know the intricacies, every line, you know what I mean? Every bar. Cool.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I know my stuff.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me a Lil Wayne lyric, I can spit a few bars for you.
Yeah, I know that shit, man. We
That's
definitely gotta have a talk about that.
That's my man's 100.
We gotta have a talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell any of my friends, I was like, hey, man, listen, y'all ever get Lil Wayne on the phone, y'all got to call me, chime in, something. I don't care. I'll stop everything. Hey, man, Lil Wayne in my city. Hey, guys, look, I got to go. I'm out. What? I got to leave right now. I'm out. I'm shutting it down. You know?
Yeah, man, they get Hove on the line. I'm all in.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, guys. Hove on the line. I got to shut this down. My whole day is cold. I feel you. It's the same. And so it's like the culture out here is they're very giving, but there's stuff on their time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And that made me grow so much patience. You know what I'm saying? Like I had,
keyword.
You know what I'm saying? Patience is the key word. I had maybe about 25% patience to everything that was out of my control. Like, hey, listen, guys, we need to do this stuff. Okay, how come it's not happening? Marcus, it's going to get done. Well, hey, listen, I want to go to the store. Okay, Marcus, I'll take you to the store. 2 days later, Marcus has not been to the store and just, but you know what? On that third day, they brought me food. They took me to the store. They bought my groceries. They made sure that my fridge was full. Okay, Marcus, we took you to the store. Anything else you need? Nah, man, I'm cool now. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool now.
You're a better man than me. If I ask and it don't happen on that first day, I'm taking myself to the store.
No, trust me, I got my own food, but it's like, because I learned my lessons now. You know what I'm saying? I've learned my lessons. I know if I ask him something, okay, it's not going to happen then. So, Marcus, what can you manage in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've learned how to check my hot water. I've learned how to check my gas. Is it getting low? Okay. I'm going to let them know, hey, I need gas in my hot water at least 2 or 3 days before I know the timer is going to hit. Because why? In those 2 or 3 days, here they come. Okay, Marcus, we're cool. So I haven't missed a beat yet. I've learned my lessons because there was a couple of days where I went at least 3 days without hot water. So it was a lot of cold, quick showers.
That was not a fun experience.
You know what I'm saying?
You could have did the hood shower. You know what I mean? Boil in that pot.
Oh, I did the hood shower, but the rinse was quick. The rinse is quick.
True.
Take the
deep. Nah, I already know. I'm lucky though. My situation here with my new company, like, they're on top of everything. So like you say, even the hot water, the gas. There's a gas station or like the refill center that's it's like 10 minutes away from my crib. So sometimes I just go, take it, pay for it, and they just reimburse me the same day. If it gets to that point. But like most of the times I just bring them the little slip that you got that shows that you owe or whatever, and they stay on top of it. Luckily. So I know, everybody's experience ain't the same. You know what I mean? There's some companies where I've heard some horror stories for sure. Yeah. But me personally, I've been straight. I've been good.
Good. Let's see. Back in when the virus hit 2022, what was one of your main decisions to stay? For me, I'll just tell mine. Mine was well, what am I going to go back to? I mean, everybody's in the same boat. I said, but what am I going to go back to? I mean, because in my mind, I was thinking it might be harder for me to come back here if I stay in the U.S. too long. So will I be making more money by staying there? Or would I have to just fight out and continue making my money here? So that's what I was going through. I know your situation is different. What were you going through when that
mine was very similar.
Okay.
Mine was very, very, very similar. So we suspended, I think, classes in January, if I'm not mistaken, like end of January. We had a winter camp going towards the end of January, right before like Chinese New Year around that time or whatever. Then the first cases started expanding out of Wuhan.
Right.
So similar to you, bro. I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, I could go home because a couple of my coworker went home. He went back to Canada, and then obviously, I knew Phil and some other dudes from USBA had went back home.
Right.
So I was thinking the same thing. Like, yo, if I go home, something in my gut just told me, like, yo, the policy could change at any time, and they might make it difficult for you to come back.
Right.
So literally, my dad like calling me all the time, like, yo, he lives in Seattle. He's like, oh, I'll get you a ticket right now. You need to come home. It's bad over there. Like, I'm reading the news, but I'm like, yo, Dad, like, I'm in the city. I'm here. You know what I mean? And my city is not that bad. Like, what you hear is probably the bigger cities like the Shanghais, the Beijings, the Guangzhous, the Shenzhens. Like obviously they have more people, so the virus is spread way quicker there because there's way more traffic in and out.
Right.
Whereas my city, Kunming, we're the capital of the province, but we're a little bit more isolated in terms of the rest of the country in a way. You know what I mean? We're closer to Southeast Asia, so the virus didn't really impact us that way. So literally, bro, like there was a day where like I was talking to my mom. My mom was like, you might as well just look into coming back maybe for a few weeks. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was about to look at flight tickets to go home. That same day is when that announcement went out that if you had left, you wouldn't be able to come back. Literally. So thank God I stuck to my guns. And my mom was like, yeah, you were right. Like, I'm happy that you stuck to your guns. Because even back home, you know how it goes. Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
I had homies that was, getting jammed up, getting locked up. A couple of my homies had to leave and, figure out different situations. So it was like, I'm not going back to the same situation that I left when I moved out here, and it's like out here, obviously, we could in a way probably make a lot more money doing something else at home. But then you have to factor in the cost of living and all that other stuff that like is kind of lowered by our standards here. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, it may not be top dollar, but the cost of living for me at least is so low to the point where like you can still save and you can still enjoy whatever it is you want to enjoy. You can travel if you want to. Yeah, I wasn't able to do that ever before. Going to Thailand, going to Bali, going to Vietnam,
man, who you telling?
Going wherever, going to other cities like whenever I really wanted to. I could never do that in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like it was a no-brainer for me to stay. Like you said, like what am I going back home to? Like, do I want to go back to have to struggle or, no offense to anybody who's going through that, prayers up. But for me personally, once you get removed from that, you're not willing to just jump back into that.
Yeah.
The trade-off is okay. Yeah, I'm missing time with my family. I'm missing time with loved ones and friends. However, it's a time you only, like you said, you can do this when you're 60 or 70. The time is now to really like craft your life and figure out certain things, like work on certain hobbies, allow yourself to grow mentally, physically. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're afforded such a luxury here with what we do because I don't really consider it work. You know what I mean? We're coaching basketball, something that we've both done since we were yay high.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer for me just to stay and figure it out. And okay, I may, have a reduced salary for these next couple of months, but luckily the virus didn't really impact us that much. And we were able to get back to work in April.
Yeah.
But ironically, that same April, like literally the same week we were going back to work, is the same week where I tear my Achilles. So it was like, I'm off from January until August when I went back for summer camp. So that was the only thing that kind of hit me a little bit hard. It's like literally the week that we're about to go back to work, we have a game at work. First 5 minutes of the game, my Achilles, pops on me.
Yeah.
And, it's a setback. It's uncertain because I never had surgery before. So
especially
it was like,
especially out here. Talk to me about that, because I think that's one of the things that say I'm knocking on wood for all of us. I fear, and I just say, Lord, just don't let me have to have a surgery out here, because in my mind, I think that they don't really believe in surgery, and why I say that is because I've had 3 kids come to me with, I think, torn ACLs, or I watched them tear their ACLs or do something funny to their knee. And then 2 weeks later, they'd be like, okay, the doctor told me to rest. And I said, the way your knee moved and the way you fell, I don't think so,
I don't buy it.
And so, talk to me about that process, just going, you have to have surgery. That's tough.
I tore my Achilles April 22nd, 2020. So the 2-year anniversary just passed last week or earlier this week. And so, I went to the hospital the next day, get an MRI. The same night I took x-rays because the MRI machine wasn't working. So they just make sure obviously no bone damage or whatever. And then the next morning I did the MRI, and that's what confirmed that it was a fully torn Achilles. And so then I went back home, was chilling, contemplating the next step. For me, you hear surgery, I never had one before. I've had family members who've had surgeries, and I've seen the recovery process. So for me, it was I was trying to prolong it. But my company, they took my MRI results to the 3 best hospitals in the city.
Okay.
For a first opinion, second opinion, and third opinion. All 3 doctors at these hospitals said that it was mandatory that I got surgery ASAP. That's what they said.
Okay.
So they came to my house that night, my management team, and told me yo, good news and bad news. The good news is obviously, in the long run, you'll be okay. But the bad news is obviously you need surgery ASAP. They're estimating an 8 to 12 month recovery period. So I had surgery 2 days later, April 24th. I had surgery.
Okay.
I was in the hospital 4 days. The only issue I had at the hospital was that they weren't trying to put me under general anesthesia. They're trying to put me under local, which meant that obviously I was partially awake and aware of what was going on. And I told them, no way. Knock me out. Wake me up when it's over. And
I see too many movies like that where you're partially awake.
Yeah, I'm cool. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to feel anything. I just want to be knocked out, have this thing be over, and then let me focus on recovery.
Okay.
So I was in a mummy cast. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. I had a crazy looking cast. From
you did.
My foot, middle of my leg.
I was praying for you. When I saw that, I said, "Oh Lord."
Facts. But I think mentally, coming from certain areas and certain backgrounds that don't allow you to really display mental weakness. Seeing my mom beat cancer twice, breast cancer 2 times. For me, it was I can't ever complain with this situation. It's my leg. Of course, it's a big part of what I do in terms of my occupation. Right. But in terms of a life or death situation, this pales in comparison to what some people and a lot of people are going through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So I didn't really allow any type of negativity to be in my inner space. And that's why I feel I was able to come back hooping, jumping, and doing all this stuff, within 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Just because of my mentality and how I approached it. So, in terms of the surgery and the operations and stuff, the conditions at the hospital are not, the amenities and stuff like that are not as inviting as what we would be used to going to a hospital in the States.
Okay.
But I will say that my process was great. I had a great physical therapist who was on point and helped me get back, to good speed in no time. And knock on wood, I've been blessed in terms of my recovery.
Good. So blessings on that.
Sure.
Blessings on that.
Yeah, and it was much cheaper than what it would have been in America too. So.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of herbal medicine out here, and that's one of the things that I give a lot of kudos to, because anytime I get sick with a cough, the sniffles, anything, Marcus, take this herbal medicine, and I just be looking at it all right, we're shooting 2 days, your boy back to 100%. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
easy.
I don't know about those herbs, man. I'm if it's like a situation where I'm struggling, I'll take heed to what they say. But sometimes, even like you get hurt at work, like you have a sprain or just something that's just feeling off, and they pull out that little spray.
Oh, no,
They
no, no,
live and
no.
die by that spray.
Give me a bag of
That
ice.
spray
Coach
does
is done for
not
the
work.
day. Coach is done for the day.
That spray does not work. Tell them all the time, like, this does not work. I tell them, I'm like, it don't work on foreigners. They're like, really? I'm like, no.
Bro, look, I'm gonna tell
Straight
you.
up.
I'm gonna tell you. I dislocated my thumb, right? I dislocated my thumb,
Yeah.
and then fractured a little bit of it. But I didn't realize it until I woke up the next morning and my hand was just throbbing. Like I went all night, you know what I'm saying? After we hooped, I just didn't know about it. And I woke up, I said, ooh, we. So boop, I popped it back in place. I said, that's not good. Well, they took me to the doctor. What they did, they wrapped it and they said, you're gonna pour Baijiu on it for 7 days. And it's gonna be healed in 7 days. Bruh, I smell like an alcoholic. I
Trying
did.
to pour Bajo on your head, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Pour Baijiu on my hand, you know what I'm saying? In the wrap and everything. They put it like in like this red like little seed stuff so it could soak it up and everything like that. They said the Baijiu has healing properties. I said, I get it. I was like, but the way that my hand and my bone is feeling right now, I don't know if Baijiu is gonna work for it. I think we need to put in like a little mini cast so my thumb could just heal in the right spot. They said it'll work.
Right.
Well, I mean, it didn't work. My thumb's still hurting, but I smell like an alcoholic for like a whole week. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm training the kids, and you know what I'm saying? I be moving my hands. I'm like, who been drinking? I said, oh yeah, it's my hand.
Oh, it's me. My hand wrap.
It's my hand wrap. I'm the alcoholic in class today. You know what I'm saying? It's me.
Oh
Guys.
my God, that is crazy.
So
That
it's like,
is wild.
to a certain extent, I use their like herbal medicine for like if I got a cough, if I'm feeling sick or something like that. Because so far, boom, they batting 1,000 in my book. But now when it comes to the other stuff, hey guys, listen, coach is done for the day. I need some ice. I'm out. I'm resting. You know what I'm saying?
Top of that too, you know your body too.
Yeah.
Because obviously you studied it, bodybuilding and just being a fitness warrior the way you are. Like I know you study your body, and can't anybody, nobody can tell you about your body better than yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Even with me, they're like, yo, because I was walking literally a month early from my Achilles out of the cast, and they're like, oh, the doctor said you. I'm like, bro, like I feel good. If I feel it to a point where I can't go, I'm smart enough to not push it. But I also know that I'm not gonna stay in this cast forever and like lose, you know what I mean? Because your calf, your muscles in your leg just pretty much go away. You got to rebuild that. I had to relearn how to walk, like my posture and all that stuff. Like it was tough because I was leaning, you know what I mean, on my walk naturally, and then I had to relearn how to like shift my body weight back, front and center, and just take my proper steps and all that. And then even with the PT, you realize that like 70% of people walking the earth don't walk properly.
Yeah.
All of that. And, you have back pains, you have all these aches and pains, and you don't know where it's from, but it's all from just how your posture is, sitting, walking, like simple things, because I tell my kids all the time, like, when they're dribbling and I can't do it, coach, I can't do it. I ask them, like, do you remember learning how to walk? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, of course, because somebody had to teach you that. And it came at a point where you were so young and it was repetitive, learning how to do it. It's like any other thing in life. You have to learn how to do it from a baby step until it becomes second nature to you. If you do it enough, I can't shoot. How come I can't shoot and dribble like you? Because you don't shoot and dribble.
Yeah.
What you mean? You take 10 shots a day and think you're gonna be Steph Curry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, makes no sense. But that's a topic for another conversation one day, man. Frustrations of coaching out here. But
yeah, man. I mean, trust me, I feel you. I'll put us all four on. We all can talk about our frustrations, me, you, T, and Phil. Because yeah, bro, it's the same. It's like, I remember one time when I first got here, the parents were getting upset because I wasn't teaching them like all the fancy moves that they see on the TikTok. I was like, well, listen, your kids can't cross over and do a layup 10 times in a row.
Basic.
I was like, I just want 10 times in a row. Crossover to a layup, make the layup. They do that 10 times in a row. We can move on.
They can do whatever they want. Yep.
We can move on to something else. I was like, but the basics of basketball revolve around a crossover, in between the legs, behind the back. That's it. Those are
Three
the
moves.
3 basics. You master those 3 basics, you got your bag is unlimited.
I'll add one more. I'll add the in and out.
Okay, in and out. You know what I'm saying? But that's still, you got to control it with the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, even with the in and out, those are the basics. You master those basics, you have a bag that's unlimited, because then the combos you can just create, it goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to teach you the combos. I can tell you crossover behind the back, crossover in between the legs, in between the legs behind the back. I was like, it just goes on. But if we just can't do the basics, well, then there's no point in me teaching you all these other moves, because it's not going to make sense.
Yeah, I thought I was losing my mind hearing that stuff. You know, how come you're not teaching them NBA style training? Like, what is NBA style training? You think Steph Curry and them, have you seen his workouts? It's very basic.
Very basic.
He can do a lot of things, but the bases are covered. That's what allows him to do all the stuff that you guys fantasize about.
Right.
You know, like I was having an argument about like the comment that Mark Jackson had made about Steph ruining basketball. And, you know, people are like, yo, like Mark Jackson was wrong for saying that. I'm like, actually, Steph would tell you that he agrees with him, because kids would go to a park and shoot from Bangladesh instead of realizing that Steph himself starts close, then he works his way out.
Yeah.
You don't just see him come to the gym and just shoot 40-foot shots and then leave. No, he has his bases covered from around the basket to mid-range to free throw line extended to three-point line to obviously Steph range. Right. But the bases are covered, and people don't realize that Steph is as lethal mid-range and close to the basket as he is from three.
Absolutely.
A lot of his points are him running around. You fall asleep, you lose sight of him, back door, he has a layup or a little floater or a teardrop over somebody. He's very good with either hand at doing that. But you guys get caught up in the shooting.
Yep.
But neglect all the other stuff that he's built up in his bag. Like you said, like his bag is deep. Starts from that. Basics. Even the dribbling, pound dribbling, low dribbles. Between the legs, he does a million of them. Then he'll add a second ball and all the other nonsense that people love. But it's very basic. Yeah. If you can do this, we can build on that. But, you know, people like, the thing I've learned here, like you said, is people pay for a service and they expect instant gratification and results right away instead of realizing it's a process. Like, you know, I tell my kids all the time, like, I've been dribbling a basketball longer than you've been alive. Same thing. I was bringing my ball to school. Like, I was getting kicked out of classes. Like, put your ball in your locker. What are you doing? This is not a basketball court here. Like, doing homework, dribbling the ball, just fake. And then even at home, like, how many times did we play shadow basketball? Just doing moves, no ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
my mom tell me, don't dribble in the kitchen. I broke 5 cups dribbling in the
kitchen. Right. Shooting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Hitting the ceiling, hitting the lights, like the things that these kids don't do anymore. And then my kids here, water break, they're running to their phone to be on TikTok or play the little games on the little phone. Like, I don't have games on my phone. If I play a game, I have it on my PS4, but I barely play that.
Right.
You know? But,
yeah. Absolutely. And so I think that's one of the things that's like a little bit of a cultural difference here is like, well, I was talking to Phil, and it's like, I could work a regular job here and make more than a CBA player. So why do I really need to play basketball at a good level? I just want to play good enough so I can get into a good college. Yeah, I'll be okay. And so then it's like, that's one of the things that I'm always fighting with the kids. I was like, I understand that. I was like, but here's the questions. Do you want to be 50-year-old and not be able to just go pick up a ball and actually play and have a bad shot? I was like, if you want to see some old guys with some bad shots, come to my 5 a.m. class. I was like, because when those 5 a.m. guys and like the older guys who are 50, 60, and they come, you know what I'm saying, because they've been out all night drinking, they come back, they want to play, there's some terrible shots. And I was like, I never let my, I was like, if I'm that old, you're going to see me with the most perfect set shot, even though I can't move left and right. My hips might be broken. My knees might be shot. I'm going to be in there. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to see throwing some of these other shots.
I threaten my kids every day because we have 3 courts side by side. So my court is usually the middle court. I have the main court or whatever. And I always tell my kids if they don't listen to a drill or whatever, I'm like, yo, in a couple of years, you're going to be over here playing with them. And I'll point to like the dudes that walk in and play pickup and you see them just doing all this. And my kids look over and watch them play for like a minute and start laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. Y'all don't work on your basic skills. You're going to be over here looking like them, running up and down, looking like this.
Yeah.
You know, because literally I watch a game, like the little pickup games or whatever. They have the little league games that come in. And these fools, it's the worst basketball you can imagine. I'm pretty sure it's the same with your gym. Like,
oh, yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, like, you're going to be over there in 2 years. Keep playing with me.
Right.
Playing with them.
I said, look, I was like, I'm not expecting all you guys to be professionals, but what I do expect you to do is be the best you can be. And I see glimpses of it, so I know what you're capable of. So don't cheat me, because you're just hurting yourself. I was like, I get nothing out of it. I said, I'll be honest with you. I was like, because I wake up early in the morning, I work on my craft so I can beat you every single day. Because I was like, you're not going to beat me. Maybe when I turn 40 plus, then there'll be a couple games where I beat coach today. Well, coach is 40, you 21. You should beat me.
Facts. You know, all the time, I'm like, yeah, bro, my salary's covered. I'm paid. I don't gain anything from you making your layups, and I don't get no bonus for that. I'm taken care of. Yeah. So if I'm giving you some game, it's because like you said, I see something in you, and I want you to be better. Just give it your all. Give it your best. Why pick up something that you're not going to maximize on, especially when your parents are paying?
Right.
You guys come to a basketball camp. I wish I never had a paid camp ever. What? My parents would pay anything for soccer because I was a highly ranked soccer player as a kid.
Yeah.
My parents knew soccer. They didn't know anything about basketball. Basketball was like, I had to be really good to get like a free sponsor or something to get into a basketball camp. So I laugh at these kids, you coming up with Porsches and Bentleys and all this other stuff, which is cool. I'm not hating in any way.
Yeah.
Do what you do. But just because your parents are paying doesn't mean you get to come over here and waste my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like 6 months in, like I shouldn't repeat myself week in and week out for you to know the proper steps on how to do a basic right hand or left hand layup. And then if we add some dribbling into it, like you should be able to at least know, okay, like if I'm on the right side, it's right, left. I'm jumping off the left. I need to put that thing high off the glass, put it in that square, you know what I'm saying? And let it drop in. Yeah. Got kids traveling, taking 3-4 steps. And it's like, dude, you've been here since last year. How are you still traveling?
Oh, yeah. Coach Green, Coach Majin, nah, listen, we ain't playing that today. I've told you this several times. You know what? I'm done telling you. Matter of fact, since you don't want to listen, everybody going to pay the price. Everybody on the line. Let's go. Yep. I was like, because it's like, I tell them every time, I was like, look, told you once, told you twice, told you yesterday, told you the day before, told you last week. Okay? You're not listening. So if you're not going to listen, well, let's put the basketballs up. Let's just go ahead and do it. Because obviously we don't want to listen today, guys. Let's put the basketballs up. Here we go. Let's run. Let's get our cardio in. Boop. And then it's like, I remember one time we ran for 30 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? And class is only an hour and a half. So we ran for 30 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? And then
what was the aftermath of that?
Aftermath was, one, the parents weren't happy, but then they understood because they saw all the kids messing up. And then two, the next day, I got a lot more focus out of them. Fewer mistakes. We were still making the mistakes, but I saw the effort level. Now that's the key. If I can see, if it's like, because I know you're going to lose the ball. I don't expect you to be like Muggsy Bogues and handle the ball. But if you are being lazy with it and the ball is rolling over there and you're walking, and the ball's rolling over here, I don't have time for that. But if I see you're going hard, dribbling that ball hard and you're losing it, okay, I understand, because I go hard and I lose the ball. Understand.
That's the whole point of that, though.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, nobody dribbling the ball safely and never, like, nobody's ever going to play a game or a whole season and not turn the ball over. Like,
right.
You know, you might have a day where that ball's on the string and you're not losing it, but even the best ball handlers lose that thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Yep. So it happens. Get out of your comfort zone. But I only asked that, what was the aftermath of it, because when I did that at USB, I got fined $50. Kids weren't listening, so I put the balls up, got them on the line. They ran for 30, and I had to find my next paycheck. Talking about I punished the kids and made them run. I'm like, if you guys are actually watching, you understand why they ran. I've never been a mean dude just to wake up and be like, oh, like I'm pissed off today. You guys are all running. No, there's a reason why you would have to do planks or push-ups or run, because you guys are doing something you're not supposed to do, or you're not focused, or you're not listening.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I'm never gonna punish the kid. If a kid misses a layup or whatever and he's trying his best, I won't be mad. But if you're BSing and you're missing layups, that's when I have an issue with it, because I know you can be better and you're just going through the motions and not doing what I asked you to do. Now we have a problem.
Now we
If you
got
give
a
it your all and you miss, I'm not gonna scream on you. If you miss a left hand layup and you try to use your left hand, I'm gonna clap it up, and be like, yo, good left. Next time you're gonna get it. You're gonna keep practicing, it's gonna go down sometime.
Yep.
No, but if you are on the left side, you're using your right hand, I'm telling you, like, work on your left because I know it's weaker, I'm gonna be pissed off. Same with my lefties, who bail out on the right side. Like, you know how it was, middle school tryouts.
Oh yeah.
I've seen dudes get cut because they couldn't make a left hand layup.
Oh yeah.
Get out the gym.
Shoot.
I mean, straight up, get out the gym.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And it all comes down to just trying and stepping outside the box, which I know is hard for some of them. I mean, it's crazy because being the only child here and being the only child in the States, completely different. It's just completely different,
Sure.
And so it's like I always have to remind myself that it's just a different attitude, but the parents always keep coming back. When I see the parents always keep coming back, okay, yeah,
you're doing something right.
I'm doing something right. Yeah, they paid the money, right. But at any point in time, they could always leave and say, "I want my money back," but they keep coming back. Like I said, even when I was making a run, some of the parents are like, "Well, my kid's tired. That's cool. Let him be tired." But then it's like they brought their kid back the next time. And now all of a sudden, the parents are yelling at their kids because it's like, hey, do what you're supposed to do. Do what coach told you. All right, mom, I'm going to listen. And so now it's like, I think that's where I've kind of changed the culture, at least in my like little city, my little group of coaches giving you the best he can. And you're not listening. Okay, I remember like one time I literally held a kid all practice because all he was doing was just running. I literally held him all practice. He kept trying to break free from me. Nope. Held all practice. Okay, break time, go get a break. Came back, coming right back here. I was like, I don't have time to keep trying to chase you everywhere. So I just literally held him. And then the next practice, his dad showed up and his dad watched him the entire time and he was working. I said, hey, that's all I asked. That's all.
My job. Yep.
That's all I asked.
Sometimes you might have to do that 2 or 3 times. But if those kids that get it after the first or second time, okay, cool. I got them. But, I had 2 kids, 2 brothers who looked like they had never been outside ever. You know what I mean? I used to call them the Brothers Grimm. Like, they just look like they just sit at home playing games all day. So these fools, like, their dad's like a property manager in the city. So, makes some good money or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He actually, he's part owner of the group that owns my complex that I live in. So these dudes came, like, the first day, jeans on, like, I'm just looking at them like, yo, they look like they'd never even seen daylight. You know what I'm saying?
I got a couple
right? So, like, first couple of classes, like, they weren't, like, they were just throwing the ball like Shaq at the basket on layups. Like, you know what I mean? I'm over here like, damn, it's going to be rough. But literally, like, within, like, I want to say, like, a month or 2, started, like, getting it a little bit. They bought some basketball shoes because they came in the first day wearing Yeezys. I'm like, bro, I can't take you serious. You got Yeezys on and all this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I'm already looking at you like you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Their parents went and got them back, like, actual basketball shoes. They started, like, coming, and you could see, like, they were getting better and better and enjoying it a lot more than they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about the environment that you create. Because a lot of people, I feel like, that struggle here is because, like, they're thinking too much of them being back home. Like, there's a certain level of expectations and basic understanding that comes from playing sports at home. Yeah. Like, even if you weren't the best football player in your neighborhood, you still competed. You played hard. Like, we had kids that couldn't play basketball at all, but they would hoop with us. We'd play their sport. We played baseball. We played soccer. We played whatever. Like, you play different sports that you weren't good at, and it expanded your palate and also your skill set. Whereas, like, here, they're not even challenged. And the better kids aren't challenged at all because people are already scared of them when they even come in the gym. Right. Whereas I can already imagine how it was for you and me. Like, you're one of the better players from your area. Like, more people are coming at you. There's more pressure.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing against better competition, like, where you got to step it up. But here it's like, oh, he's like the best player for his age in the city, and they just let him do whatever he wants to do. And it's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
He's going to play against somebody who's not scared of that, who doesn't care anything about that status, and he's going to eat him alive.
Right.
Just because, so still working on it, still working on creating that like competitive drive. I think that's my biggest challenge, for me, but it's been fun. It's fun seeing kids actually take, what you're giving them, and run with it, as fast as they can. And hopefully, you said I'm going on 10 years. Hopefully, when I am going on 10 years, that we're a little bit further along in your city and obviously my city as well with the kids. And I think these kids are going to be the ones who ultimately change the culture of sports here, because they've had the exposure. Imagine how it was for you and me. Like, you're one of the better players from your area. Like, more people are coming at you. There's more pressure.
Oh yeah,
you're playing against better competition, like where you got to step it up. But here it's like, oh, he's like the best player for his age in the city, and they just let him do whatever he wants to do. And it's like, that's not how it works.
Yep.
He's going to play against somebody who's not scared of that, who doesn't care anything about that status, and he's going to eat him alive.
Right.
Just because, so still working on it, still working on creating that like competitive drive. I think that's my biggest challenge, for me, but it's been fun. It's fun seeing kids actually take, what you're giving them and run with it, as fast as they can. And hopefully, you said I'm going on 10 years. Hopefully, when I am going on 10 years, that we're a little bit further along in your city and obviously my city as well with the kids. And I think these kids are going to be the ones who ultimately change the culture of sports here, because they've had the exposure to foreigners at the extent that we've given them in comparison to the previous generations. So that's my goal. Obviously, like you said, maybe we may not have any pros, but we will have kids that understand the game.
Yeah.
And then they can in turn create pros if they want to be pros, but at least they have a basic understanding of the game, and that's, for me, that's the goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's switch gears real quick, because you got an album coming out. This is going to be your fifth album, correct? Fifth album, See the World 2?
Solo project or project in total?
Let's go solo projects.
See the World, Cannon Season,
right?
First Class Flights,
yep.
Kings Don't Sleep,
yep.
See the World 2. So fifth. You're right, fifth. Dang.
Okay.
Dang.
And I think when I looked at it the other day, it was at least one solo project for the last 5 years. So you've had at least an album out every year so far since you've been out here in China. I'll put it to you like that. Since you've been out here in China, pretty much an album every year.
Almost. I didn't put out an album in 2021. Though. Or actually, yes, I did. I'm tripping. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I'm bugging. Dang, I did.
Yeah.
Dang. My catalog better than me.
Hey,
as soon as a project is out, I'm on to the next already.
Yeah.
I need to get better at that, at enjoying the space, the creative space that I get into. But I'm such a I'm such a perfectionist to the point where, like, I don't really allow myself to enjoy the moment as much as I should. I'm trying to get better at that. Okay. But yeah, no, you're right. 18, 19, 20, 21, and now 22. Dang. Sheesh.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Here's one of my questions, because I know rappers always draw from experiences and, saying their surroundings. Now, being a rapper, being out in China, now on the first two albums, I got a lot of, from what I felt was like your past experiences. You had to get a lot off your chest, and that's what I got from your mom having cancer. It was definitely one of my favorite records. I bumped that from my mom. Two was Blessings. I put down a couple of my workout ones. Like that's still one of my favorite joints. Just when everything put random on, I'm all right, bet.
I haven't listened to that record in like 2 years. I can't listen to it.
I believe it. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, you had to get a lot off your chest in those first two albums. And the third one is kind of like, okay, now you're finding your groove. And you were talking a little bit more about now of my experiences here and how I can relate to the last two projects. It seemed like you're having a little bit more fun with it and kind of finding your more creative space, especially being out here in China. How can you, or I guess I would say, where do you keep finding the inspiration from? Like, because, say we both listen to rappers back from the States, and it's like, well, they're experiencing all these things. How can you translate and make people relate to it? I mean, I relate to a lot of it because, like I said, I'm out here in China with you. Mm-hmm. And I understand the things you're talking about, so I'd be chuckling on some of the albums. Yeah. Okay, yeah. How do you feel like you still make your listeners relate to that type of music? You know what I'm saying? Especially being out here in China.
No, that's a great question, bro. I think for me personally, because obviously, like you said, you draw from experience, and for me being such a family based person, family oriented person, as well as a loyal friend, I have a lot of my friends who will never be able to experience this. So I just try to make sure that like I tell my stories in a way that like it's as if they're right here with me. Like because a lot of rappers flex, they flex about places they could go and the Hamptons, the Greek trips and all that stuff. Like half of the people that you're rapping for will never experience that.
Yeah.
So obviously me being a million miles away, and trying to tie in two different cultures, as well. I just try to make it as relatable to my personal life experiences. Cause I think like a lot of my stories are things I've been through directly or I've seen happen or I've experienced it through the eyes of those closest to me. I never try to tell you a fantasy tale or whatever, or unless I'm telling a storytelling rap or whatever,
Right.
But on the other end of it, I just draw from, I think, we have so many vast experiences as well, and the world is a lot smaller than I think we think it is as well. And there's certain experiences that I have here that somebody could be going through. It just may be in a different culture or with different people, a different set of people, but it's still relatable. So I think, the biggest trait that I feel like for me has always been my ability to like stay within the moment, and like capture a moment. Like there may be sentiments and things that people have always wanted to express that they may not know how to express. And sometimes a song may put you in that zone. Like, dang, like, you hear some Bob Marley, it automatically puts you into a happy place, like automatic, no matter what you're going through. You put that on, like it's going to uplift your mood. And I never want my music to like affect you negatively. I want it to be able to like be reflective and introspective, no matter what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about family, on like family tree, if I'm talking about a breakup or I'm talking about a romantic fling or situation, like I want it to be perspective based.
Yeah.
So it's a tough battle, but I've always prided myself on being creative. And like you said, I think you hit it right on the nail in terms of like these last couple of projects of me having a lot more fun. I feel like I'm letting my guard down more. Cause I feel like I was so guarded before.
Yeah.
I would give you a glimpse, but I wouldn't dig in there. So some people like see it, it's scratching the surface, but like, yeah, we want more. And so I feel like now like I'm allowing myself to like peel back layers and let people in. So it's been fun. It's been tough because there's some days where I'm not creative at all.
Yeah.
Like in the past, I could write rhymes all day, like no problem. But then you run into an issue of repeating yourself, telling a similar story way too much.
Yeah.
Whereas now taking your time to actually craft the music, I feel like it's becoming a lot, not saying my stuff before wasn't quality music. I feel like it was, but I feel like I've gotten better each project personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that too. I agree. Yeah.
That's my end goal. You know what I mean? To continue to elevate, continue to make music that people enjoy, and just see where it takes me.
Okay. Let's see. Another one of your projects I was surprised about is your Africa project, because I'm okay, here's a guy in China who like I've never been to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I had plans on going to Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa. I've never been. You know what I'm saying? Ghana and stuff like that. Never been, but I had to think in my mind is if I was at an African celebration, I feel like this is what it, you know what I'm saying? This was the music that I would be hearing with the sounds and stuff like that. Because it almost, at the beginning of, who is it? Lionel Richie's All Night Long song, you know what I'm saying? Fiesta, and it's like that's the type of feel I kind of got from it. But then it's like, okay, we got the drums and everything kicking into it, and so I had to stop myself. And like I said, I just be laughing sometimes because I say, okay, once again, this guy's in China. I don't know if he's been to Africa, but somehow in his space, he has just created what I feel, you know what I'm saying, is the sounds of Africa, because now I related, like I said, to Lionel Richie, and I said, when I go to Africa, I was like, this is going to be my theme music. Like, I already got it planned, you know what I'm saying? In all my videos, I was like, this is about to be my theme music in my videos, you know what I'm saying? Just playing in the background, because, like, that's the type of space that puts me in. And it's like, how were you able to capture that type of feel? Once again, you're in China, never been to Africa, you know what I'm saying? But now, how did you capture that?
So quick backstory. I mean, those who know me very well, know like my life story, but my parents are both from Central Africa, both my parents. So my brother was born in Africa, Cameroon to be exact.
Okay.
My parents moved to America 4 months before I was born. So on family tree, that's why I mentioned the backstory of that. So like,
Yep.
I've been to Africa twice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When I was 3, and then the second time when I was 23. So 11 years ago. So
hold up. So 3 and 23, 20 years apart.
My bad, 3 and 22. So
okay.
Damn 20 years, almost 20 years, still 20 years.
That's a big difference, because I imagine at 3 you didn't really remember anything. Now coming back at 22, what was your first impressions? You know what I'm saying? Because now coming back at 22, you were living in the States, correct?
I was born and raised in the States. So my whole life, I was in the States up to that point. So my first
22.
impression, so the majority of my family is either in Africa or Europe.
Okay.
Either one of those 2 places. So various countries in Europe, France, Germany, Italy. But like the bulk of my family is in Cameroon still to this day.
Okay.
So with Facebook, with Instagram, with WhatsApp, I'm connected to my family in ways that I never was as a kid.
Dopeness.
All I would hear about was like my parents being so prideful of where they were from. Yeah. So like in school, when you learn about slavery, you learn about all this stuff about how they talk about Africa, I can kind of counter that, because in my household, I have the pride of being a second generation African that's living in America. I was born in America and all that stuff. So like I had 2 cultures. I had the African American culture, Black culture, American culture, general pop culture, but I also have African foundation and background at home.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that you heard on the album was like sounds that like I grew up, because my dad's also a musician. He played the guitar.
Okay.
Some Afro jazz and stuff like that. And like a lot of songs that you hear at home, if you go to parties, like, because Africans party, when we link up and we are ever in the same space in the African party, you had to experience it, because Africans party in a way that there's nobody that can compare to that.
I believe it.
At all.
I believe
so like my boy, so I credit that album all to my boy Ebes. He's also the other rapper on the album.
Okay.
But he produced all the beats. He's from South Africa.
Okay.
So the funniest thing with that was that album was kind of recorded at the same time that I was recording Cannon Season and working on First Class Flights.
Oh.
So okay. Ebes produced pretty much all of Cannon Season. He had some records on First Class Flights, but he would always, like, every time we have a studio session, he'd always be like, yeah, you can rap, you're a super rapper and all that, but if you're really an artist like you say you are, you'll be able to rap on these Afro beats. I used to be like, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
So I used to always brush him off. And I remember one day he kept bugging me about this one song that ironically is probably the biggest song in my catalog, which is African Dream. Right. Yeah. So I had the beat for like a month.
Okay.
I would listen to it. I just wasn't feeling nothing. Right.
Yeah.
So I remember one day I got tired of hearing his mouth. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to surprise him tomorrow at the session. So I wrote the hook in the DD.
Okay.
Right? Good night, double tap. I go like, right? I replay. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fire. So I had like a 40-minute ride from my crib to his house. So the hook was done already. I write the first verse. Right?
Yeah.
Killed it. I'm like, yo, this is actually, kind of like wavy. So I get to his crib. He had a studio in the crib. I was recording a different song. So I finished that record for my project. And then I was like, yo, put that little African beat on. He's like, you ain't got nothing for it. I'm like, give me 5 minutes. So I just played it loud through the speakers, re-rapped it out loud to myself. He was in another room to make sure that like whatever, like my cadence, my punches were good. 5 minutes go by. I'm like, I'm ready. He's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, put it on. Beat comes on. I do the hook. He stops recording me halfway through the hook. He's like, yeah, like what? I'm like, yo, let me finish. I got the verse. He's like, what? Do the verse. He's like, yo, he's going crazy. I hate that record. Like, I can't stand that record.
Whoa.
At all. But, like, because at the time, I didn't have any other big records. Like, I had the Memo. I had a couple other records that, like, had videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, people love that record so much to the point where, like, I go to clubs out here or bars out here and I walk in, they start playing that record.
Yeah.
And I didn't want, like, that to be, like, my entry into, like, the music world globally I wanted to be, like, known for, like, the records I love, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rather than, like, it's a great record. I know it is. It's timeless. It could be played 10 years from now. People will still vibe to it. But, like, I don't know. I kind of, like, try to suppress that, like, the African side of it, because like I don't want to be pigeonholed into that box. I kind of felt like that record would do that. Okay. So, but that project was easy because Eves kind of like had the shells of every beat laid out, and all I had to do was just give them either a 12 or a 16, which is super easy. I think for me, it's harder, obviously, working on my own projects because I'm building a song from beginning to end in terms of the hook, what I want to talk about on the beat.
Yeah.
And verses and all that, especially if you have to write 2 verses or, however you're creating your song, it's yours. But somebody else, a feature, it's super easy because that person probably already has a general idea. And you just follow their lead and kind of get lost in it.
Yeah.
So collaboration albums have been always easy for me. But it's like the projects that you're building from scratch, those are the ones that are a lot more impactful, meaningful, of course, but a little bit more difficult to put together. Okay. There's more thought that goes into it.
Okay. So, bet. What can we expect from See the World 2? You know what I'm saying?
I think See the World 2, I'm stamping it that I'm here to stay. And I feel like, personally speaking, for me, I think every rapper, every creative falls in love with their art. Me in the past, I haven't been as in love with my art as others have, but I feel like this go around, I'm kind of like taking the gloves off and I'm talking that talk.
Good.
I feel like people have told me I've been too humble, and I feel like the humbleness got to go at some point. In a good way, in a tasteful way, in a good way.
Absolutely.
Not to be overbearing, but I'm confident in my art. I'm confident in what I present to the world when it comes to music. And I feel like See the World 2, anytime you hear that, See the World, it's tatted on me for a reason. It's my brand. It's my motto. I think it kind of creates an air of quality, of luxury, of presence. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think it is. See the World 2, I think for sure is my best project to date. I know you've heard a couple records, but I definitely think from start to finish is my best project. And I'm only going up from here.
Bet. I like to hear that, and I can't wait for it to drop either. Can't wait for it to drop.
July 2020 or 2022 is probably the target date. I would say July.
Summertime. Okay, summertime. Perfect. Well, it'll get bumped in my gym during our workouts and stuff like that. So Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. Top 5 rappers alive. In no particular order. Your top 5 rappers in no particular order. Alive.
At the moment, or just alive in general?
Well, I mean, I feel like those both go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, these are my top 5 alive. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You asked me, I got my top.
There's some rappers who are alive that aren't as active though, but I get your drift.
I mean, regardless if they're active, like I put Kendrick Lamar, he just dropped the album, but he's not really active. And Pusha T just dropped the album. Pusha T is only active like once every 3 years. So, what I'm saying? But he's still, he would still be, if you wanted to, a top 5, because they're still alive. I'll put it like that.
Alive. Jay-Z.
Okay.
Then you got to put Nas in there.
Okay.
Whew, alive. I'm biased though, bro, but Jadakiss.
He did have a great performance that made me have to go back and re-look at some of Jadakiss's albums when they were doing that verses, and he went off and did some acapella. I said, wait a minute. I used to listen to Jadakiss. I said, I feel it.
Kid's got to be in there. Damn, man, top 5 is, whew. I mean, he revolutionized the game. I'll give Wayne some love.
Okay.
And I mean, love him or hate him, I think that he's gonna, when it's all said and done, he's gonna have the best career in hip hop history. You gotta go with Drake.
Drake is one of those where it's like his single.
He hasn't missed a beat since 2008.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like his albums, like don't miss. It's like
he hasn't missed a beat since 2008. Since he's been out, he has not missed a beat.
He's found his lane, and he just. All right, here we go. I care less what y'all think. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to keep going.
Love him and hate him. I mean, you got to, for me, you got to respect him. I think he still pushes the needle. He still is at the forefront of the culture. And I give respect where it's due. So Wayne, I mean, and I think Wayne has the best mind in hip hop history. I'll give you my reason for this. Because at the peak of his powers, nobody else did what he did in terms of you put on 2 other acts who end up becoming bigger than you are. No other rapper's done that of his stature.
Yeah. Yeah.
50 had Game. Game had the potential to do it, but he didn't do it.
Right.
Nobody that was with Hove ever surpassed him in terms of popularity, ability, all that. He never co-signed and put anybody on the way that Wayne did Drake and Nicki.
Right. Right.
And
Wayne,
they both end up becoming bigger artists than him. Both of them.
Like what he said when Wayne went to Rikers, you know what I'm saying, he passed the ball to Drake, and Drake never fumbled. You know what I'm saying? Nicki never fumbled.
And Nicki.
You know?
A girl and a dude and a woman, like just take over their their respective genres in a way that has never been seen before.
You know?
I think that's the one thing that Wayne never gets credit for is like how much of an unselfish person he was at that point. Because he easily could have been like, yo, it's my time. I'm going to maximize my prime and then put Drake out when I'm ready to step back.
Right.
But he still was in his prime and he allowed them to thrive the way that he did. Unreal.
I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know me, I'm a big Wayne head. And like one of the things that amazing to me for Wayne was simply when he was going away when he was in Rikers Island, he was still on everybody's featured that he had made before he went to Rikers Island, just so his name could still be out every couple of months. And you're like, is Wayne out? Nah, man, he's still in Rikers. And then I don't think this got as much credit as it should have. But I think there was a song with Rikers Island, or it's called Light It Up, with him and Drake, and then Jay-Z. Ow. Yeah.
Oh, Light Up. Yeah, Wayne put out his own remix.
Wayne put out his own remix, and he on the phone. I hope the call don't drop. Damn. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, did y'all get that? And Mac made on the phone like, yeah, we got that. We got that. Okay, you got that? Oh, click.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. I feel like anytime anybody mentions this Jay-Z, they always throw Nas in there. It's like, I feel like it's almost like they are Biggie and Tupac. Can't have Biggie without Tupac. Can't have Nas without Jay-Z.
I think the reason with that, I mean, the Biggie and Tupac comparison obviously goes hand in hand just because they both died in situations that were linked to each other.
Right.
You know, so the Nas and Hove situation, I mean, being from Jersey, New York, is more so like, we all know when Nas first came out, he was crowned the king of New York, right? And him and Biggie had that battle. Hove wasn't really considered that. So when Biggie dies, Hove, naturally being as competitive as he was, wanted that throne, and the only person that made sense to go at was Nas. So that's why the battle even ensued. And obviously, you know, there's a situation that happened with Hove being involved with, you know, the mother of Nas's child as kind of a spite to get at Nas even more. Like, yo, like, okay, you're not gonna take me serious. Because what people don't know, Nas was supposed to be on Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah, I heard that.
Didn't want, like, he was too slow doing the record or whatever. And I think that left a sour taste in Jay-Z's mouth. And from that point on, Jay-Z was like, I'm going to do everything in my power to, like, try to tarnish him and pull him out. Because Nas is very reserved. He's cool. He doesn't really do the press. You don't see him out on Front Street as much. He didn't care for the acclaim. He just wanted to rap, make his music, and enjoy it. But, like, Hove kept pulling them out, where, like, at the end of the day, Nas was forced to do Ether by his own homies. He didn't want to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, people don't know that. Like, they told him, like, yo, bro, like, now you making the hood look bad. You better respond. So they locked him in they locked him in the booth until he did it. For real. Because they were like, you know, you're not gonna have us, the bridge, Queensbridge, looking weak. But these Brooklyn dudes, because people in New York is very sectioned off. Like, you got the Harlem dudes that are just rep Harlem all day. Brooklyn is Brooklyn. The Bronx is the Bronx. You know, Staten Island is their own thing. That's Wu-Tang all day. And then Queens is like the get fly, get money dudes.
Right.
So no borough ever wants to look bad in accordance to the other boroughs. You know what I'm saying? That's been going on since the beginning of hip hop when it comes to New York and Jersey especially. So the Nas and Hove thing, they're always going to be linked forever.
Okay.
Forever because of that.
Okay.
But it's a mutual respect, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's mutual now, you know. Say, like, I look at a lot of those, I say that's just because they're young. And when you fighting for that top crown, it's like you got to say you the best. You got to. And you got to believe it. So, I mean, I get that. Okay, so out of those top 5 rappers, we got Jay-Z, Nas, Kiss, Wayne, and Drake. Who would you like to be on, like, your album? Let's say you reach album number 10. Who's going to be on your album? who's your one feature you want out of those top 5?
I think can I pick 2?
Sure, why not? It's your album.
I think the Drake cosign, if it's done right, will have you out of here.
Okay.
I was watching an interview with Lil Durk saying before that Laugh Now Cry Later feature with Drake, he was demanding $50,000 a show.
Oh,
since that song came out, the video and everything is shot to #1. Durk is now getting $300,000 to $500,000 a show.
Ooh.
That feature alone bumped him up to over $150,000 a show.
Love.
So if it's done right and you carry yourself the right way, you're out of here.
Yeah.
But my dream feature, my dream collab, I would love to have a record that Hov says, "Nah, Young and Spittin', I want to get on this." I would love that. Like that would be my dream, to get Hov on the record and me and him go back and forth or whatever, and I could just get a Jay-Z verse, because some of the elite rappers in the game don't even have Jay-Z verses.
That's true. That's
I
true.
know Meek got one. Yeah, so I'm angling for that.
Bet. I like that. Yeah.
So
I like that. Hov on the track, that'd be ill. Because like you said, not too many people have gotten it. I'm trying to think, like I know Meek got it, Wayne got it. I don't know if Ross got one, but I think it was a big feature. Everybody was featured on like a Khaled track. But
Ross got a couple of Jay-Z on records.
Oh, he does?
Double Is a Lie.
Oh yeah, there you go. You're right.
I got a couple more too. And I think Hov was on one of the Maybach musics.
Oh, I think you're right. I know 2 Chainz said he wanted one. That'd be one of 2 Chainz.
He's still looking for one, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still looking for one.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Anything's possible, you know what I'm saying? Anything's possible.
Whoa, that's the goal, man.
See the World coming out in July, right?
July or August. I'm aiming for July. I got some things I got to do. I got to shoot some videos. I got to get this rollout ready. But I'm 80% done right now. Cool. In terms of records and everything else. So getting ready, gearing up.
Bet. Cool. All right, Jeezy. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, you know what I'm saying, hollering at me.
I appreciate it, man. This was fun. Definitely got to do this again.
Absolutely. I said next time we're going to get me, you, T, and Phil on it. Then we're really going to dive into all our training. And because, like, you know, I look at a lot of the trainers back in the States, and definitely nothing against them, you know what I'm saying, because I picked some of the stuff from them. But I think my bag and my knowledge of being a trainer, like the same thing with you, has grown a lot just by being over here because of the detail. We literally have to spend so much time on it. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Now it's like, I feel like if I go back to the States and teach somebody, it's going to be that much more better, because it's like you said, when the States, I can show you cross, okay, coach, we got it. But here I can't. Today I tried to show a kid cross behind the back. Oh, buddy, 45 minutes later, all right, let's go take some water. Coach needs some water. Let's take some water.
Straight up. They have no idea. But, you know, one day, though.
Yeah.
One day they'll get there. Man. Yeah, man. Much appreciated, bro. Appreciate you having me on.
Always.
Enjoy the rest of your week, man. I'll definitely tap in with you soon.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Love.
Love, bro. Peace.